So many of us live in this world of fantasy of lying to ourselves in order to comfort and cushion the rough edges and corners so we don't feel it as much. But I want to tell you that you have what it takes to do the hard thing. You have what it takes to face and confront your pain, because there's one of two ways this can go, right? You can do the hard thing and face it all, go on the journey with humility, with honesty, with integrity, with openness, with curiosity, and really just applying and reflecting. Or you can go on a treacherously hard journey of avoidance, of staying stuck, of compounding regret, of paying the price and the ultimate cost of a lack of fulfillment and staying where you are longer than you needed.
You like that? You like being daddy brown with microphones now. You like being a worker. You're made for the camera. Both my boys are.
Hey, this video you are about to watch is a part of a series where I show you how to quit porn the right way. So do yourself a favor, binge on all of this content, all the videos that you possibly can, because who knows, maybe if the value and the trust is built together over this journey, you'll want to jump into a community that I call Fit for Family. Or maybe you think these videos suck, and that's also fair too. But nonetheless, there's only one way for us to find out. So enough of me, let's get back to serving you and let's get back to the video. One thing I want to set you up with right off the bat here is knowing that this journey is going to be hard. Now, I'm going to define hard for you. I'm going to help you know what I mean by that. And I believe that this right here is going to be super, super supportive and liberating for you, because here's why. So many people that I talk to or engage with tell me they're like, quitting porn is such a disappointment. I'm so mad at myself. I have all these unmet expectations. I'm so hard on myself. I'm mad at me for falling, for failing over and over and over again. And they're like, when am I going to get a break? When is this thing going to become easy? It just feels so hard. And it's really more of a way of seeing life. It's more of a worldview and a mindset than anything. But I want to create a bit of a perspective shift here, if you will, because I want you to win. I want you to be on the winning side of history with God, and I want you to catch God's heart for all of this. So let's just back up a few feet. When Adam and Eve were in the garden, okay, we're going to go more than a few feet. We're going to go back to the very, very beginning. When Adam and Eve were in the garden and they fell, it was very, very clear that a curse and the effect of sin in the world was that man would toil. Man would have difficulty. Man would not just produce crops effortlessly, but there would be strain, there would be struggle. Now, we live in a world where we have things happen that are hard. And I think a lot of times we assume that there is an easy path, there's an easy route. And I think that's one of the biggest fallacies of porn, is that it's given us a worldview that says there is an easy way out. And I actually want to combat that with you and challenge that belief for a minute, because people are like, well, I don't want to face my stuff. I don't want to get honest. I want to deal with my things. I just want to keep, watching porn and going that road because it's just easier. And I'm like, but really, is it? When you really think about every decision, there's always consequences. And so what I want to help you see is that a better frame, maybe a more supportive frame for life, is that everything is hard, right? Quitting porn is hard, but also numbing out with porn is hard. Getting in shape is hard, but staying out of shape or being overweight or under your optimal weight is also really hard. Creating financial wealth is really hard, but so is being poor and letting go of opportunity and feeling like a victim to money and circumstance. Over and over and over again, you can see that there actually is no easy. There is a level of effort for everything in life, and the biggest thing I want to set you up with right now is that this is going to be hard. Confronting your stuff is going to be hard. I don't want you to assume that this is a cakewalk. I don't want you to assume that this is going to be strenuous and should be really hard, because there might just be grace and flow and things unraveling and you're excited about the journey. But in terms of that uncomfortability, like, oh, do I really got to face some stuff? Is Matt really going to give me challenges? Is there action that I'm going to have to take? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Because if this was convenient and comfortable, you'd be free. We'd all be free. If quitting porn was easy, quick, convenient, and comfortable, nobody would be addicted. But when you look at the statistics, man, every single one of us are hurting, men and women across the board. We're coping, we're numbing, we're disconnected, and we don't understand that life is hard. Life is difficult. But if we have an identity that says, I can do hard things, I have a 5-year-old son, and anytime he encounters a challenge, one of the biggest beliefs that I've been instilling in him for years now is, I can do hard things. I can do it. Like Coda can do it. That's my 5-year-old. His name's Coda. And so I tell him, I'm like, buddy, say it with me. I can do it. I can do hard things. And so he learned to say, hey, my name is Coda Gray and I can do hard things. So when he introduces himself to people, I actually have a friend who taught me that. And when my friend introduces his son, he'll be like, tell him your name. And he's like, tell him who you are. Tell him exactly who you are. And his son is probably about like 7 years old now. And he'll just say, he's like, hey, this is my name and I can do hard things. It's how he introduces himself. How amazing is that? That right there is an identity. So that when you have an identity that says, I can do difficult things, I can rise to the challenge, I don't just cower away and fall back, I don't just avoid and run away anymore, I can actually face things and see them, because no one has ever faced their pain and died. No one has ever faced their pain and ended their life. But so many people end their life constantly and take their life because they don't want to get uncomfortable. They don't want to feel their pain. They don't want to face the emotions that they're running from. And that's what creates all of this resistance and this jarring within you and I as God's children. And so I want to set you up for success properly right now by just saying, hey, dude, this isn't going to be a cakewalk. You're going to have things that you need to, confront, because if we have a perpetual career within ourself, emotionally and mentally, of lying, and then the whole goal here is to get just radically honest, you're going to have to see that, yeah, you're not as far as you thought you were. You're not doing as great as you thought you were. For someone who's like, I can do this on my own, and then we got to get super honest, it's like, dude, that's going to be hard to confront a narrative that's like, I actually can't do this by myself. I actually need help. I actually don't know what I'm doing and have what it takes to do this by myself anymore. That honesty is going to be difficult for people who are living in a world with a lot of control, where they don't want to see the real reality and effect and consequence of their decisions. So many of us live in this world of fantasy, of lying to ourselves in order to comfort and cushion the rough edges and corners so we don't feel it as much. But I want to tell you that you have what it takes to do the hard thing. You have what it takes to face and confront your pain, because there's one of two ways this can go, right? You can do the hard thing and face it all, go on the journey with humility, with honesty, with integrity, with openness, with curiosity, and really just applying and reflecting. Or you can go on a treacherously hard journey of avoidance, of staying stuck, of compounding regret, of paying the price and the ultimate cost of a lack of fulfillment and staying where you are longer than you needed, of having the regret of knowing, what if I had only shown up and applied? What if I had only taken that risk? What if I had only done the challenges? What if you left it on the table like, hey, I'm just going to watch the videos and that's all I'm doing? It's like, sure, that's great, but that's still hard. And so I just want to challenge this idea that this can be easy. And I don't think you want that. Like, when you look at what a diamond is what happens when it's under such an insatiable amount of pressure from the rocks beneath the surface, right? That's what happens, is it happens through pressure. Wine is created through pressure. The best things in life are created through pressure. Now, I'm not talking about pressure that I want you to feel overwhelmed and taken out by and destroyed by, but what I just want to share is like a value piece of like, the best things happen through effort and through attempt and putting an energy to something worthwhile. It's the reason why we get excited in a football game, because there's opposition. We know that it's going to be hard for our team to beat that team because they have a lot of strength to them, right? And in the same way, I'm like, yeah, you got a worthy opponent, dude. You got a Goliath that you're in front of, and that's okay. I want you to learn to use the armor that God wants to give you, and for you to say, hey, I got a big beast in front of me, but how much more rewarding is it going to be when you lop that thing's head off, when you take it out, when you take the promised land, when you go for gold? I think that's why we love all the heroes in the faith. That's why we love the story of Israel taking the promised land. It's why we love hearing the underdog story of athletes and heroes in our life, is because they actually got to be the hero of the story. And I'm telling you, man, that you have an opportunity to be the hero of your own story with God, where you got to go on that process and feel proud of yourself. You get to feel a sense of pride in a healthy way, a dignity of like, dude, I did this, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of like, wow, and build a muscle and a history where you're like, I actually lean in to the difficult. I lean in to the uncomfortable because it's the right thing to do. You can stay comfortable and stay stuck, or you can lean into uncomfortability and experience God. And how do I know that scripturally speaking? Because Holy Spirit is called the Comforter, because he knew that you and I would be uncomfortable stepping into this thing, stepping out with trust, with faith in him. He knew, hey, these people are going to need me to get to where they want to go. They're going to be uncomfortable. And in order for them to experience my comfort, they have to be willing to let go of the way they do comfort. And that right there is massive. In order for you to truly experience the presence, the tangible love of God, you have to be willing to let go of comforting yourself, of numbing yourself, of creating a container of conditions and control where you just do this all by yourself, all on your own. And you're like, I'm going to my phone, I'm going to my movies, or I'm going to these apps, and you just disassociate and cope and numb and comfort yourself. And God's like, I have so much more for you, but it's going to be that the requirement is that you step into courage, right? Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the opportunity to step into something fearful, even though you're afraid, and do it anyway, and say, and that's where I'm going to experience God. That's where I'm going to know the Holy Spirit as the Comforter. But first, we got to take that step. So either way, it's going to be hard. It's hard to quit porn. It's hard to get honest. It's hard to stop living a lie, put your hand up and get help, and do this journey with your friends, and do this with people, and get vulnerable and face maybe the possibility of rejection. And be like, oh no, Matt, you don't understand that I might get hurt and they might misunderstand me. I'm like, yep, same here. Got all those triggers myself. But you can do hard things. Or you can do the other hard of coping, numbing, running, right? And then having the impact of that not just affect you, but all the people that you know and that love you as well. Choose your hard. That was my biggest encouragement to you. If I knew that a few years ago, or even into the journey for me, it would have changed so much. And I felt like I was just in a journey where I was just grinding my teeth over and over. I'm like, man, I'm just facing so much stuff. But I didn't know that I could believe in myself in the process to say, hey, either way, there's going to be challenge. You just choose which journey of challenge that you want to go on. Settle that for yourself. Journal about it. Talk about it with your group. Discuss what that would look like for you, and actually be intentional. Be deliberate. I'd love to know your thoughts and have you share and explain and expound on what that looks like for you to choose into your heart, and what that even brings up within you. You know, what epiphanies, what questions, what realizations, like, oh, I didn't know that. And start to dialogue about that with the people around you. And I'd love to hear what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Hey guys, my name is Christopher Nicholas, and I'm from North Carolina. For the past 12 years, I've been struggling with porn, and in these past few years, I had reached out to close friends and pastors with my struggle. I read books about quitting porn. I did everything I thought I could to quit, but I just couldn't break the habit. I really just felt hopeless in my struggle and thought that ultimately my life was going to amount to nothing. So naturally I thought, like, how is this going to be any different? Within the first video I watched, I knew that I'd make the right decision to trust Matt and go through this process. I soon realized why I was going to porn, and just how truly poor image I thought that I had of myself. With Matt's guidance, I was able to learn how to redirect those thoughts, any negativity, any and all negativity from my head. I was able to just redirect and think more positively. Now I'm able to believe that I don't have to go and get a quick fix to deal with any stress, anxiety, anything like that. I have other healthier ways of treating that, ways that don't demean myself or make me feel trapped in my emotions. Once I was able to grasp that, it completely reworked my brain and just how I thought of myself. Now that I have that mindset, I've been able to take initiative and achieve goals that I've been dreaming of for years. And I'm taking an active role in my life to live as God intended, with life purpose. So that anyone feeling like they're enslaved to their emotions, feeling worthless and directionless like I did, I highly recommend diving into this course. It's going to completely change the way you think and lead you to a healthier, more fulfilling life. God bless.
Hey, real quick, if you like that video that you just saw, or if you want to see even better videos than this in a series that I made called Annihilate Porn to help guys or girls like you quit porn, you can subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't forget any alerts, comment, like, all that jazz, and more importantly, check out the next video that's going to take you even further on the journey from where you are to where you want to be. I love you tons. I'll catch you in the next one.